Today I will be talking about Turkey. What are the reasons why you should travel to Turkey? But now let's dive into the 8 reasons why you would want to consider Turkey. So first of all, it has one of the world's most beneficial climates for the health. I've been traveling to the southwest part of Turkey. It is, in a region close to the Greek islands, and it does have a different climate than the east and the north, etc. So for this climate, it is ranked as one of the world's best climates when it comes to health. It has an even temperature, it has a little bit of breeze, and it has more oxygen in the air than most places. And it has less humidity than a lot of the temperature, or the good climate when it comes to temperature. Often it comes with a high humidity. That is a problem for different types of diseases, etc. But this part of Turkey has, some of the best conditions for all kinds of health issues. I get so much healing for my skin and different conditions. So the warm climate has been the reason why I ended up there in the first place, and it has truly been the best medicine that I could ever have. Now the second reason that is, putting Turkey on the map is definitely the beaches. They have in this region some of the best beaches, and what I love about them is, it's sand, it's comfortable and all of that, but it has, in the region that I've been in at least, it has these beaches that just keep going and going and going. One way is, like horizontal is one way, but you can walk literally like 100 meters or 50 meters and still you have water on a decent level, so you go down and a little bit up again, and you can play volleyball out there. You can have so many activities and play around without getting the waves that are sucking you out, etc. If you go to the further east, in Antalya for example, they have, it's steeper, it goes quicker down, so that when the waves come, you really have to look after your kids, because it can suck them out, and you just have to be careful all the time. But in this region where I've been, it's such a convenient and relaxed atmosphere. You can just walk far out and you still have head above water. So it's a playground. I love playing volleyball, and it's even more fun out in the sea. So the beaches is definitely number 2. Now the third reason why Turkey has been on the map, and one of the reasons why I ended up there also in the first place, is the prices. Until now, it's been very reasonable. Everything in Turkey has been really, really good prices compared to Spain, France, Greece, etc., Italy, etc. So for all of these countries, Turkey has been the reasonable option where you can literally get so much more for the money, and you don't have to, spend a fortune to have all the things that you want to have. So that means that you can live more abundantly and be more free and carefree in that region, because everything is of a less price. Now there's been a lot of inflation in Turkey lately, and the economy is not really the best. So it's been up and down, but the lira, the Turkish lira, has gone down a lot also. So even if there's been 10 times the value increase at times, since last year, etc., it hasn't been that much more expensive for people coming from abroad, because the lira compared to their currency has tanked, and so it's still a very reasonable country. The next thing on my list, I guess that is number 4, that is definitely the food. They have in Turkey the most delicious food, and they have so many variations. There's simple food, it's pure ingredients, but it is put together in a way that is so tasteful. And what I love about it is, when it's reasonable, I can be there, I can eat on a restaurant or a cafe as often as I want to. I don't really have to think about, the cost of it the way that we have to in Norway. If you don't know, in Norway, going to a restaurant or a cafe, etc., it's so expensive that you really got to think it through. It's not something you do, all the time. Of course, there's a lot of people who go and get a cup of coffee and this and that. But if they go often, it is a significant, amount that is spent there. So it is something to consider. But when going to Turkey, it's not like that. I can be on a restaurant or a cafe every day, more than once if I want to, and I can stay there for a long period without having any problems with that, because it is basically the same cost as going to the store and buying ordinary food back home here. I love that, but what I love even more is that you can go on a restaurant, get somebody make food for you and serve it, and you can eat it and enjoy it, and it's healthy. It's good for you. I'm so tired of leaving the house, and if you ever want to buy something when you're not at home, it's going to be a jeopardy for your health. Like, okay, it tastes good, but I'm going to get eczema afterwards, or okay, it tastes good, but it has all of these things that, I really don't want to have that much of. Compared to most of the Western nations, it still has so much natural, basic, simple food made from scratch. They all make it from scratch, and it tastes so good and it's delicious, and it's just a joy to not have to cook. Anyway, regarding food, in America, in Hollywood also, there was, such a demand for Turkish chefs. So that was something that they didn't have enough of for a period, because it was so trendy. They had discovered the Turkish cuisine, which in my opinion, I love a lot of it. But I do have my favorites, and perhaps I will make a video later on about, if you come to a Turkish restaurant or if you travel to Turkey, what kind of food should you order and what should you definitely not order unless you want to have the experience of your life. But that is for a different time. Number 5. The number 5 reason for going to Turkey is shopping. If you like a little bit of fashion, boots, leather jackets, purses, jewelry, cotton, towels, home textile. I mean, there's so many things down there that is of really great quality and really great design, and it is cheap. Depending on where you go, there's so many fake brands. So if you don't like a fake Gucci, a fake Michael Kors, and Yves Saint Laurent, and I don't even know all the brands. I don't care about them. However, I do have a lot of brands in my, shelves, simply because that's what you get down there. My daughter, she doesn't like to have a fake brand, so she's actually having to search to find things that are not in a fake brand. Some shops have a lot of stuff that is not a brand, and others, it's just Armani and all the big brands everywhere. But for those who like that, it's a haven, and I've seen several times that American Hollywood stars, they come down there, they, rest in their yacht, or they've bought a property. And then friends of mine, they've run into, big celebrities, really, really big celebrities that, the entire store is shut off so that they can come and visit this purse store, etc. So some of the celebrities in Hollywood are actually wearing a lot of fake brands coming from Turkey. Tailors and, fixing shoes. We barely have that in Norway any longer, and if you go to them, if you find one, it's going to be so expensive you just want to buy new jeans or new clothes or new shoes, etc. But down in Turkey, it doesn't cost much at all, and it is fantastic to bring my own stuff and take it to the tailor and get it done. I have my own personal tailor in Turkey that I've had for the last 10 years. He knows me, I know him, and it's such a luxury. There's so many things in Turkey that are, it looks like rubbish. You go to the market, the weekly market, and they have these wooden old boxes, and it's not laying on the ground, but it's very primitive, it's very simple. And, some of the stuff is rubbish and some of the stuff you would never ever want to buy. But in between all of that, you find all the gems and the Gucci's and the, real materials that are such quality, etc. And the service that you can get in different shops, etc. It is fantastic. You also, in the medical part, you can get, your hair done, your nails done, the skin. I mean, there's so many other parts that I didn't mention, but, you get all of that. And of course, the Turkish hammam, which is the spa version that they have down there. Number 6, medical treatments. Turkey has an excellent medical, development or services. It's dental care and, brightening teeth or changing them out, doing all the Hollywood stuff. And also they have surgery, plastic surgery, but also medical stuff. And they have poor doctors and bad stuff also, but they have rebuilt their medical system to work really efficiently, and they do have the manpower to study the journals and check things and look after things. I'm not saying they don't do mistakes. I'm sure there's scandals and all of that, but from what I've seen and from everyone that I know that has been traveling back and forth, Turkey has a lot better health system than we do in Norway, and I would, if I could choose, I would go to Turkey for so many procedures and so many problems instead of Norway if, I had the need for it. I would feel safer in Turkey in many, many ways. I wouldn't just feel, I would be better taken care of. They keep you in the hospital until you need to go back home. Until it's good for you to go back home. In Norway, they send you back home when you should have been in a hospital, when you're helpless and could possibly die at home, simply because they don't have capacity. If you don't have relatives that can take care of you when you come back home, not too bad. So, yeah, Turkey is a good country to go to for medical issues and dental stuff. And of course, you have to choose the right place, and you have to know the basics, of language, or have a place where you have translator or people who are speaking English, etc. But if you have that in place, then definitely it is a great place. And if anyone wants to go there, they see that, oh, I do have some issues, it's too expensive in my country, and I need to fix my teeth, I need to do this and that. I can arrange it for you because I've been back and forth for 15 years. I speak Turkish. I've been to the hospitals. I've been to the dentist. I've been to many of them. I've tested it out. I have some great friends that I really trust. And I can tell you 99% of the people I don't trust. But I've found the few that I can trust in the area. And, well, if you're going, then let me know. Just, leave a comment and I can help you. And they have thermal spa, which is, if you get to the real places that have it, it's really, really healthy, mineral rich, very, very warm and salty water coming up from the ground. So that is like the healing places. Now that brings me to the next thing that is a definitely good reason to go to Turkey, and that is all the attractions, sightseeing and exciting things that is going on there. Of course, they have the normal touristy things with, water skis and, all kinds of stuff like that, but all the biblical not all of them, but a lot of them, all the 7 churches and so many of the biblical historical sites are in Turkey. The 7 churches, you have the 7 sleepers, you have Cappadocia where you have, the underground persecuted Christians that built their towns and cities underground, and if you go there you can live in a cave basically that's been turned into a hotel room. And there's so much history. Turkey is where Miletos was, it's where Paul was traveling. John was in the area before he got attacked and sent to Patmos, I think it was. So my place where I've been going is quite close to Samos, which is, where you need to go to get to Patmos, I think. You could probably go without, but it's the common way now at least. So there's so rich history. And you got Ephesus, you got, Laodicea, you get all of these places. And you got the Apollo Temple. I was going to film the Apollo Temple this time, but I didn't get time to do it. I got prevented. My battery got flat the day that I was going to do it, so I didn't get a time to do it. Pamukkale, you got the old spa for Cleopatra. She was residing there, and this was her, luxury place for bathing. And it has all these salt mineral created kind of natural bathtubs, like a waterfall of all of these bathtubs. And it has warm springs, so it can come warm water there, and it's mineral rich, etc. So I don't know if in Pamukkale if it's that much warm water right there, but I've been in the area quite close. And the friend that I was traveling at that time, he just stopped the car and he said, "Jay, get out of the car." And so we went down to the river. He just stopped by a bridge, and there was a river going under that bridge. And I was like, okay, what's the big deal? It was, not good looking, nothing special. But then he said, put your feet in the river. And luckily, it was a little bit steep and it wasn't easy to just put your feet into it. So I put my hand instead, and I'm glad I did. Because if I'd put my feet, I would have burned myself. It was really, really warm water. It must have been between 70 and 60 Celsius because it was on the edge of being burned, but not that warm, but really, really warm enough for it to, be on the edge. So if I'd put my feet into it, the feet are a little bit more sensitive. So if I'd put my feet into it, definitely I would have been in trouble. And the last thing is the hospitality. The Turkish people is very, very, very hospitable. It's very, very welcoming. You always get help. You always get somebody who wants to talk to you. who wants to, be your friend and wants to help you with whatever you need help with. So it is quite common. You are never alone down there. You are always invited into somebody's home or somebody's cafe or, whatever it is. You are taken care of and welcomed. Now, that is a very, very good thing, but you also have to be aware that they are very emotional. And, they have this emotional intelligence. So their way of tricking people and being fraudulent and, ripping you off or selling something for 3 times the price, etc., is by first being your friend and being very hospitable. So the reason why that they have the leader that they have is probably because they have this attitude of the one who can cheat and lie and get away with as much as possible is a great hero. So that is a culture that you have to be aware of if you go down there. I can talk a lot about that if you're a young girl or a young lady. Be careful, because every man, above 30 years is probably absolutely married, but they all say they're all single when they want to. So be careful, enjoy the compliments, enjoy the hospitality, but don't trust them. Be careful when it comes to that. And with that, I hope you've had a good time. Be blessed, sleep well, and I see you soon again.